Hey lovelies, thanks for stopping by my channel for today's BYOP. I am very excited about this one. I have been looking forward to this all month, and I'm sure you saw from the title, we're gonna be getting spicy. We are talking about some spicy neutrals today. I am so excited. We're going into this trend of everything being in the neutrals, the nudes, and so I am looking forward to giving you my version of that with just a little extra twist, you know, that little extra something something, you know, just that little extra something that creates that spicy neutral, that special neutral, that nearly neutral, whatever you want to call it. And today we're going to dive into that. But if you are new to this series, my friend Kara from Beauty and the Frizz and I started this series as a way to get more use out of the single shadows that we own. We found that, you know, it's really easy to get excited about all the sparkly, shifty things, buy them, swatch them, put them in a palette, and then, you know, kind of forget about them. So we wanted to do something that would pique our creativity and also get us to use the makeup we have. So we are rolling into 2 years now. We just celebrated our 2-year anniversary, and I really do think that we've enjoyed this. And from what you all say, you are enjoying it as well, and hopefully it is helping to encourage you to use the makeup you have. Now, if we haven't met before, my name is Kelly, and I'm a professional hair and makeup artist, and here on my channel, I strive to keep beauty real. Real honest, real relatable, and real fun. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos, like more BYOPs. Speaking of, I will be sharing with you next month's BYOP at the end of this video, so don't miss out on that. All right, so I have my palette right here. Here is the thing. I have already done this video for all of you once. Yesterday I filmed this and my microphone was not on. So it was a little mime moment. We were doing mime neutrals, I guess. So I will be including the 2 looks that I did originally yesterday, so you'll get to see those in here. However, my loss is your gain because you're going to get to see a 3rd look. I'm going to go and take off this eye makeup, and we'll do a 3rd look with what I have in here. I will also, of course, be swatching all of these shades for you, letting you know why I was inspired to put them in here, and we're going to redo it, y'all. I love this palette. I love this palette so much, so I'm not that bummed about it. I mean, I am pretty bummed about it, but I am excited to use this palette more because I did not use all the shades in here yesterday, and that kind of made me sad. All right, so if you are not new to this series, you'll know literally the one rule we have is to use 10 eyeshadows, and today I'm sort of breaking that rule. But there's a reason. There is a reason for it, so technically it's not really cheating. I'm just giving you options, y'all. I'm giving you options. I just had to get that disclaimer out of the way. So I'm going to show you my spicy neutrals right here. We're going to dive into that. I am very excited to share these with you. Again, we're going to be doing swatches and all of the fun. So I am going to zoom you in. We will do that, and then we'll do an eye look together, and then you'll get to see 2 more. 3. I don't know if I've ever done 3 looks for a BYOP before, so hopefully you enjoy this. Come on in. All right, let's get into this. I am not wearing any of these eyeshadows on my eyes right now, by the way. I was actually doing some filming for some work I'm doing for Paul Mitchell this morning. I got up at 5 a.m., y'all. So I needed some makeup on my face, and I ran home so I could get this done and get it uploaded in time for Thursday. Haven't missed one yet, and I don't intend to, so we're gonna get into this. But I was like, well, this is gonna be one of the first times that I'm actually starting the video with some makeup on my face, so that's kind of fun. And I don't know how it's gonna get through because I am literally just gonna like wipe off the eye makeup. I'm just gonna do that. I might change out the lip. I don't know that this is gonna go with the vibe because I have a feeling I know what shadows I'm gonna use. Oh, and by the way, this is using an eyeshadow palette that I just recently got, and I really love it. I am doing a review and tutorial video coming very soon, so make sure you're subscribed if this is your vibe. All right, let's dive into the palette we have in front of us right now. Let me get my little magnet. This might be a little hot mess video today. I don't know. It seems to be the way of the world these days. So we're going to get into the first shade that I chose. I feel like every month when we do these themes, there's always a shadow that right away is like bing in my mind. And this is one that I knew right away I was going to use because I actually wore it in a recent video and I was like, this is sexy. It is a sexy, colorful neutral, and this is the shade Centaurus from Devinah Cosmetics. So you can see we have this olive and almost like ambery shift to this shade. It is beautiful. This is the shade that I was wearing in my recent, let's see, I think it was my lip tag video. So you can go ahead and check that one out if you want to know a little more about some favorites and some not so favorite lip products. But I was wearing that in that video because I was working that day and I was like, I just want something that's like soft, but still kind of spicy, you know, and that's exactly what this shade is. So this one is one that I've had for quite a while. I did actually purchase this. I think all the shades in here I have purchased, but if there is anything I was given in PR, of course I will notate that. So you can see here, this shade is just so beautiful. You can see the bit of like, you know, olive gold. You've got that bit of like that pinky amber. It's just so good. And this is one that can be built up on top of a darker shade to really make it pop. You can wear it on the lid on its own. It is just stunning, and I really love this one. It's very, very smooth, but it still has a lot of shine. It doesn't have a lot of sparkles to it. So if you're one that like, you want the things that have all the glitters, this isn't that one. But if you're someone where you're like, I want the shift, but everything these days seems to just be getting more and more sparkly, this is gonna be one for you because it is a lovely one. So you're probably not gonna be surprised. There is a decent amount of Devinah in this palette here, which I think, you know, you're probably not surprised because I love Devinah. I do think that a lot of people don't necessarily think of the brand as having a lot of neutrals, and I'm very excited to get to celebrate some of these because they are very special. So this is a shade from Terra Moons, and this is the shade Meteorite. And this, you know, I always say I need something that I can use as an inner corner in every single palette I have and every single palette that I create. So this is that for me, but I think it's more than just an inner corner because it is that beautiful iridescent. You could totally top it over some of these other shades if you wanted. And I think that it just, you know, it has a multitude of shifts to it. So I think it's, you know, one that would go with a lot. And when I can only use 10 shadows, y'all, I need to have multitaskers. So you can see here, this one is just, it's just so pretty. I think that, you know, it has a bit of almost a rosy mauve-y undertone. I don't know if you can see that on the corners here. And then it has that like kind of like lime green, a little bit of gold to it. It's just wonderful. So this next one, we're dipping back into Devinah, and this is a shade that I absolutely love, and it's not one that I see get used a lot. This is the shade Erratic, and this is a standard shimmer, and I think that that's why, you know, a lot of people don't think about these when they think of indie brands, but it is so lovely. It is like a neutralized pewter, a pewterized neutral. I'm gonna go with that because it's definitely leaning more into neutral than it is into pewter. I'm sure Deandra is never gonna call this a pewterized neutral, but that is kind of what it is. So you can see there on the back of my finger, like just how wet this looks. Now, if you love Moonlit from Devinah and you want something that's sort of in that same vibe, but maybe doesn't have the sparkle, this is that shade. This one has a little bit more, it's almost like cocoa, you know, it just has that tiny little bit of brown to it. This has a little bit more of that, and it doesn't have any sparkles to it. So if you don't love sparkles, this is a great way to go. Moonlit is such a beautiful shade, and I think it's a very popular one. So if you like that one, you're really gonna love Erratic. This is another one that right away when I was going through all my palettes and my Clionadh came up, I was like, oh, I have to put this one in there. And this is Opulent. So Opulent is a taupey mauve neutral. Like I think some of these, you know, you don't think that they're that neutral, but when you put them next to other colorful colors, if you will, there's a softness, there's a bit of a wearability. I mean, you can see like when it's straight on, it has more of that like taupey look to it. I love the shade. I may have put this in a palette before, I cannot remember. You know what I need to do is I should start doing like a spreadsheet of the shades that I've done in palettes and, you know, just keep track. I'm never trying to like not refeature shadows because there are just some that I love so much that I feel like they can go into a lot, but it is nice to sort of have an array. But here you can see that Opulent, this is one that's like a soft neutralized rainbow. I mean, can you see all of that? Like when I'm looking in the viewfinder right now, I see some of that like, warmer tone, like that ambery mauve. You have, you know, more purple over here. You get more into the greeniness of the shift there. Oh, so pretty. I will, as always, be giving you a very up close look at the swatches as well. So this next shade is one that I know that I've used this in at least 2 other palettes, I'm sure, but I couldn't exclude this one. I really tried hard. I was like, you can't use this one again, but I have to. This is Voodoo, and this is also a Devinah Cosmetics shade. Listen, this is so stunning. A couple things that I love about this shade. It really can serve as a satin or a matte. You know, you can really buff this shade out and it looks so lovely. You can pack it on a little bit more and you're gonna get a beautiful dry skin friendly sheen. This is just one of those shades. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe you'll be able to see it on the back of my finger here. If I can get this to focus. This has this coppery warmth to it. Like it has just this yummy, rich, copper, tiny sheen running through it. It is sort of like, it's like Mexican chocolate, you know? It's got that little bit of kick at the end of it. And I love this shade. This is just one of those sexy browns, you know? It's like in the hairdressing world, we have this thing where it's like expensive brunette. This is expensive brown, right? Like a lot of people are like, oh, a brown is a brown is a brown. But no, it's not. I need something rich. I need something with a great undertone. I love the like rosiness that this has. I love the slight sheen that it has. It is gorgeous, stunning. Next time you do a Devinah order, you should buy this shade. By the way, I do have a discount code with Devinah. It's KEEPBEAUTYREAL. It's not affiliated in any way. I don't earn anything from it, but it will save you some cash. And that one, and this one. I think all of the shades that are in here from Devinah. This is the last Devinah shade, y'all. This is the last one. But I could not put this one in. This is Freya. And I think that this is just such a beautiful, slightly grungy tone. And the thing that makes this sort of a spicy neutral is the fact that it has just a hint of an olive tone to it. And it might not be noticeable when, you know, it's sitting in a pan by itself. Such a beautiful shade. And I think that that slight, you know, khaki olive brown really lends itself to some of these other tones. It's just a fun one to have where it's neutral, but it's a little different. So this is one that I knew I was going to put in here. This is one that is, to me, very unique in my collection. I think that it just has so much shift, but it's super smooth. This is also the most colorful in this bunch. And, you know, when I picked it out, I was like, maybe that's a little too spicy. Maybe that's not even neutral anymore. But when it's on the eye, it's so soft that I think it is kind of neutralized. This is Veil Nebula from Terra Moons. And, you know, here you can see that it's like, wow, it's a blue-green. But when it's here, it's a little bit softer. Again, this is one of those more like softened rainbow shades. So you can see here on the back of my hand, I think maybe it's the base of this that makes it a little softer, or maybe it's the fact that there's so much dang color in there. It's like an all-at-once rainbow, and so it makes it seem more neutral, but it is just so pretty. If it catches the light right, it's definitely got a little bit more babam with that blue-green, but look here. That's like a freaking rainbow. You have all the things, all of the things. And I am wearing this shade in one of the looks that I do. It's so hard when you're using these beautiful shimmery shifty shades, because if you aren't wearing it all across the lid, it just isn't quite as special, but hopefully here my forearm is doing it justice. Okay, so now we're gonna move into a shade from Pretties for Your Face. And let me just say, Pretties for Your Face has some of those shades that you're sort of like, that's a little disappointing, that's a little underwhelming. Maybe the swatch isn't quite the way it performs, you know, things like that. And then you find those gems that you're like, this is why I love this brand, because there are some of these that are just so, so beautiful. This was one of my first Pretties for Your Face purchases, and I absolutely fell in love. This is the shade Nightingale, and she is a banger. She is a hidden gem. I love this one so much. Nightingale is it's so funny because yesterday when I was swatching these out, you know, I was like, it's not an old gold because it's softer than that. But because it's a goldy champagne that has a little bit of that green like an old gold does, but it doesn't have the black that a lot of old golds do, I was like, maybe it's like a mold gold. And I was like, oh my gosh, that does not sound very sexy. But you know what I mean? Like it's like that greened out gold a little bit, but the base of it is a bit more neutralized. It's so pretty. It does have almost like a slight teal sheen to it. And it's smooth, y'all. I mean, this is so beautiful. And these shades, I meant to look it up. So the regular shades from Pretties for Your Face are $5 or $6. You can usually get them on sale, and then a creator code like mine, which is KEEPBEAUTYREAL, that takes it down another 20%. So sometimes you can get the regular shadows for $2 or $3. The polymorphs, I believe, are 10. There are definitely times where you can get those on sale. I mean, this is just so pretty. It's so pretty. I love it. It's one that I've had for a while and I have used quite a bit. So this is that time where it's like, yeah, some of these from Pretties for Your Face are just so wonderful. And the formula is right there. The texture is right there. You know, I love a good, soft, smooth shadow, and Nightingale is that one. Here's a shade that a lot of you probably know about. Maybe you have it in your collection. You're probably not surprised to see that it's one that I love. And I think that I've used this in another palette, maybe recently. This is Paladium. And this is what I would say is Terra Moon's metallic rose gold. So there was the collection that had a bunch of the different metals. And this, of course, this was the one from that I had to get because it is definitely that rose gold shade. I mean, oh, look at that. It's like Tin Man. Oh my gosh. Where are we going to get all of this? I don't know how I got this all on yesterday. I should have started. Maybe I wasn't wearing my watch. That's probably what it was. But anyway, this one you can see, I mean, it's spicy. It's spicy, y'all. It is a spicy neutral. I love it. I will say that I do prefer this formula over some of the other metallic collections that have come out because it's not flaky at all. It is absolutely smooth. I mean, look, what? It's like if I wanted to be the rose gold Tin Man for Halloween, I could just smear this all over my face. I would be so happy. Okay, so now we're getting into our last shade, but like I said, I do have 11 shades in here, and that is because I wanted to give options for a multitude of skin tones. So I think in a palette like this, where you are trying to highlight some beautiful neutrals, what you need is a soft, neutral shade that will really go with your skin tone, but not everyone has the same skin tone. So I wanted to offer something that is on the cooler side and on the warmer side of life. So first let's go into the cool toned one. This is the shade Peanut Butter from Sydney Grace. And you might be thinking, Kelly, this is not a cool toned shade, because I think at first it does look more warm toned. It has that peachy brown to it, which is so funny because like this to me does not look like peanut butter at all, but that's all good. This to me is more, again, it's more peachy, which has pink in it. So this does lean a bit more into the cool tone side of life, especially compared to the next shade that I'm going to show you. This is Sydney Grace, if I didn't say that. Both of these mattes are going to be from Sydney Grace. So I am actually going to swatch half on one side and then half on the other so that you can see the difference, and also so that I have room before we get to my elbow. So the shade that I would personally choose for myself, because I do lean towards warm, is the shade Toffee. And again, this is from Sydney Grace. So Toffee is a bit warmer without being too orangey. And I wanted something that is different enough from, you know, the depth and the tonality of Freya, because I wanted, you know, obviously some options here. So I feel like this one can really be blurred out. Actually, Freya can too. Both of these can be built up a little bit more, or they can be blurred out. So you do have some options as far as like how deep you want to take these. So you can probably see here. I'm going to try to zoom you in just a little bit more. Hi there. So you can see here that this leans more into the warmer side. This is cooler, like it has more of that pink base to it. So again, this is Peanut Butter and this one is Toffee from Sydney Grace. So here you go. Oh, there we go. I don't even have to stand up for this one. You can see all of the beauty in these shades. I mean, yummy, yummy. There we go. If I turn down that center light, you can really start to see some of the shiftability of these shades. So good. So we have Devinah Centaurus, we have Terra Moon's Meteorite, we have Erratic from Devinah, and then we have Opulent from Clionadh, Voodoo from Devinah, Freya from Devinah, Veiled Nebula from Terra Moons, Nightingale from Pretties for Your Face, Paladium from Terra Moons, and then here we have Toffee and Peanut Butter from Sydney Grace. So good. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and do an eye look. So I'm gonna go clean this off my face. I'll be right back. All right, that didn't go too poorly. I was able to get that off pretty easily. I do still have some mascara on, so please excuse that. So since my other two looks did not feature Centaurus, and I really want to wear this one because it is so pretty and I think it's really fall appropriate as well, this is going to be what I'm centering my look around. I'm probably just going to do another sped through look. The others are the same. I think you're going to get the flavor for it. It's not like I'm doing anything super complicated. So we're going to get into this, and I hope that you enjoy these 3 looks. And don't forget, I will be telling you what next month's BYOP is at the end of this video. It's going to be a fun one.
I'm no good at being in love. Every time I do, I get lost. Wish I could explain to you, but if I do, it's you and I lose. Maybe we're happier apart, and if I'm honest, every bit if we start. Better now than soon. I promise you that it'll be cool. Lately, been breaking my own heart, holding on, yeah, waiting for back. I'm too weak, letting you know that the half of me is just for the show. I see it clearly in my sleeves. I'm dreaming, been dreaming. One call and you'll be off my mind. I told you, keep being down.
All right, here is the first of the 3 looks, technically the third for me, but the first for you. I just threw on a little lip liner. I was feeling a little pink. So let's go in with Lee from Sydney Grace. I think this is gonna warm this up just a little bit. Very pretty. So hopefully you can see the beautiful, like, subtle shift that Centaurus has. It is so pretty, and I think that it wears really well with Voodoo. And you can see how you really can make this into more of a matte shade, but it has just enough shimmer that I feel like it's really flattering on the eye. I love, love, love this one. Okay, this might be my fave of the 3 looks, but I love the other 2 as well. Let's get into them.
Jeff is just round the block. Is it the drink and ready to run? Thought I'd be better by now, but I can make my feet move along. And as soon as I see you, I forget about it. Just as soon I get used to letting you go. I feel a heartbeat and I'll go blind. You feel exactly every void I have inside. I'm your Valerie, like a rock, but still I try so hard to be something I'm not. So show me love and I will show up. Prove me wrong, this time you won't stop. Or you go your way and I will go mine. 'Cause never will I ever be blinded by love again. Jen calls crying, she's lost. Met her ex and now she's back to the start. I gave her my best advice. She did the same but couldn't change my mind. And as soon as I see you, I forget about it. As soon I get used to letting you go. So show me love and I will show up. Prove me wrong, this time you won't stop. Or you go your way and I will go mine. 'Cause never will I ever be blind.
All right, lovelies, I hope you enjoyed this spicy neutrals. What do you think? I'm feeling spicy. I am feeling spicy and neutral right now, so I think we nailed it. I cannot wait to see what Kara does. I will make sure to have her video linked down below, and of course, any other creators that decide to jump in on this one. Now, if you are a creator, you are always welcome to join in on this. This is an absolutely zero pressure situation. So if there's one that you are inspired by and you want to join in, feel free. If you don't have the time or it's just not your jam, don't even worry about it. And if you are not a creator but you'd like to share your color story with us, please tag Kara and myself on Instagram. We love seeing your shades. I really enjoy getting to see the different color stories that people create. So I hope you've enjoyed this one. Now for next month, you know, we're going to be coming in at the end of October, and we've done a few like spooky season themes in the past, but this year we are going to do a palette based off of a costume that we have done in the past. So a favorite costume we have done. I cannot wait for this one. I think it's going to be fun. Right away, I always have one costume that I think of when it comes to Halloween. I'm hoping that I can find the picture, but if I can't, you'll all just have to take my word for it. But I'm really excited for next month, and I hope you've enjoyed. Again, I will have all the creators linked down below that are doing this one. Please don't forget to give this video a like on your way out if you did enjoy it. And as always, I really appreciate you taking some time out of your day to spend it with me, and I will see you really soon.